College Kings. Yep, I played this game because A, it's free, B, it's a visual novel, and I do love me an engaging storyline in a game. C, I get to flirt with girls without the worry of getting a restraining order against me. I've already got way too many as it is. They probably have a keyboard shortcut for me on this system by now. Control FU. And D, I have been playing way too many horror games on my channel lately, so I thought this might be a good change. So with these points out of the way, let's get in the video. Now hold up, do I need to play this intro? I mean, College Kings is not a horror game, or maybe the horror is the concept that you get laid in college, because I sure as hell didn't. Ah man, this is gonna bring back some old memories. Let's go with the default intro. Alright, so since this really is a graphic novel with quick time events, I don't think I can give my opinion on it like I would give on a video game. The whole idea of graphic novels is that you see a story unfold in front of you. College Kings is pretty much like that. The reason I'm saying pretty much is because the narrative is user dependent. You control the flow of the story and how you want to approach certain situations. I may be jumping ahead of myself over here, so let me take this from the start. You assume the role of a freshman at college. On your first day, you realize that tutors will give you assignments with unrealistic deadlines and will expect you to do most of the research yourself. While doing your research, you will spend more time researching topics that you never really care about, but you do end up looking up anyways. You will interact with girls that look like they dressed up in a hurry and would rather choose to get hit by a bus than to stand and talk to you. On your first day at San Vallejo College, you start to learn that all girls are super friendly to talk to, they wear hot skimpy outfits to show off their best bits, the teachers are hot. I mean, seriously, look at this teacher, and she's supposed to be teaching me economics. If I had a teacher like that in college, I would have done much better because at least I would turn up to study. I had a teacher who was a few days younger than dirt, and she was teaching me key skills in communication. If I had a teacher like Miss Rose here, I wouldn't suck at communicating. People out here thinking social distancing is a pain. Man, I was socially distancing people before it became a thing. God damn it. Anyways, as you meet more people, you will get to learn more about the college. There are different fraternities in San Vallejo, but the two you will be most concerned with are called Apes and Wolves, who battle it out in an MMA fight at the end of the year. The winner of the fight will be labeled Fight King. On your journey, you will meet some amazingly hot women and some horny dudes. And really, the whole idea of this game is to make it to the end and bang as many chicks as you can. And when I say as many as you can, trust me, there are a lot of chicks you can choose from. You got Emily, Auburn, Chloe, Riley, and honestly, I didn't even bother to remember most of their names. I just saw the character model and asked myself, would I? Yeah, I would. If you can look past the hot chicks, which at times is very difficult to do, there is a story to delve into, and as much as I hate to admit it, I kinda liked it. Look, don't get me wrong, the game does not take itself seriously, and the writing clearly shows it. Hell, I think that was the developer's original plan. But the more time I spent exploring the story, I found myself invested in the characters I was interacting with. I started with the main goal of banging as many chicks as possible, but some characters were pretty well defined and my interactions fleshed them out even more. It also meant I had to tread carefully on how I approached certain characters because I ran the risk of losing them as friends completely. Considering the whole idea of this game is to get laid as much as possible, there are a lot of spicy moments in the game. Look, I don't want to be kicked off from YouTube, so I cannot show you the footage, but take my word for it, it's all here and explicitly detailed. You can choose which position you want to go for and for how long. This is obviously the key selling point of the game, and I must say in that department, College Kings delivers. As for the animation itself that plays during these spicy moments, I must say I have seen better animation from artists exploring Rule 34 on the hub, but hey, if that's the kind of thing that rocks your boat, then I'm not going to judge you. I'm probably on the same boat as you. Alright, this is an interactive experience, so I guess I need to talk about certain aspects here, like how College Kings plays and its mechanics. Well, saving and loading works, and I didn't mean that in a sarcastic manner. You can save your progress pretty much any time in the journey, and if you feel like you're messing up, just load your previous save file and start afresh. You can even go back a few actions to undo any decision you made, which makes the story more accessible. There's a mode in the game which deactivates this feature, so if you want a more real-life experience where you cannot undo the mistakes of your life, you can go for that too. Although I must add here, the choices in College Kings are binary. Don't expect Telltale's The Walking Dead or Mass Effect level of complexity here. You will have two options to choose from, and depending on your choices, you will get one of three key character traits: loyal, confident, or popular. These three character traits will determine how other characters perceive you and will respond to you accordingly. I'm glad that the developer included an option to enter custom names because the results can be hilarious. Case in point, an apt name for a character determined to sleep with as many women as possible. Aside from making decisions that makes or breaks your relationships with other characters, you will occasionally have to fight, and unfortunately, this is where College Kings falls flat on its face. The fighting mechanics were just frustrating, if I can call them mechanics to begin with. They are essentially quick-timed events where you have to press one of 4 buttons to attack or defend. The attack will either land or will be blocked by the opponent. When your opponent attacks, you will have a limited window to block the incoming attack. If your opponent is throwing a right hook, for example, you need to press the assigned button to block that hook. The problem is you have a limited amount of time to attack and defend. While it was not an issue with attack, the defend part was particularly frustrating because I didn't have enough time to determine what kind of attack it was and press the right button to block it. And look, I understand the game has a specific design, and this was probably the best way to implement an interactive action scene. I also understand that this approach will stop button mashers to cheese their way through, but come on, at least give me some time to react. Thankfully, there is an option to auto-win the fight, but I must have tried like 10 times to win, but I kept getting my arse handed to me. There were a couple of instances where character models just looked weird, and there were some typos, but it's not a big deal. There is one major issue with College Kings, and it has to do with its optimization. I recently played Devar, and I know my PC is not exactly powerful, but I had no issue running Devar while running GeForce Experience to capture footage. There were no slowdowns, no frame rate drops, nothing. For some reason, College Kings stutters even when I'm not running GeForce Experience, and there is no option to tweak the graphical settings either. I could not adjust screen resolution or anything. Now I know this is a visual novel, so it wouldn't make sense to include options like LOD, depth of field, or any other option you find in near enough all PC games. But that is my point. This is a visual novel you're playing, so it wouldn't make sense why it would stutter on my PC while games like Devar run perfectly. So what do I think of College Kings? Now, I don't give games a score, I just give my opinions, but if I had to give College Kings a score out of 100, I would give it 69. You know what, you should have seen that one coming, and if you didn't, you must have something in common with my ex-girlfriend because she never saw me coming too. Messed up her hair big time, but whatever. Oh Lord Jesus. But really, at the end of the day, you're playing an interactive story that sees you seducing college girls, and is free to play as well. It's not costing you anything, and yeah, this is not the kind of game I usually cover on my channel, but I wanted to try something different and I hope you all understand. Anyways, that's enough from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I'm a part-time YouTuber, so your engagement with the channel will help me a lot in the long run. Peace out, angels, and stay awesome.